What's going on, guys? Welcome to another special edition of the Renegade Pop Culture podcast. My name is Mike. I'm joined by our founder, Keona.
What's up?
And introducing our special guests for this evening, Nick Horniacek. How's it going, Nick?
It's Hornacek. You were close, though. You at least pronounced the E correctly.
I'll take close enough.
Yeah, and I'm actually doing good tonight, man.
Awesome. Tonight is something special. 20 years ago, or 21, Metallica released a live album collaboration with the San Francisco Symphony, simply titled S&M. And today we'll be reviewing their sequel that they recorded 20 years later. It was just released on video and on Spotify this weekend. Now, before we get into the album itself, I want a little bit of background on like where we all are with Metallica. Nick, I'll start with you since you're probably the biggest fan out of the three of us.
Wise decision. Okay, so they've been my favorite band since I was at least 12. I can't really say how I got into them. I don't remember necessarily. I think it was either around roughly the time Guitar Hero 3 was about to come out. Either that or a friend of mine from my childhood was introducing me to them. But as soon as I started hearing a lot of the stuff off of Master of Puppets, that's when I immediately was like, this is angry, in your face, has attitude and good playing. I've got to check out more of this. And then across all of I want to say like the first half of grade 9 for me was just buying their entire catalog.
Nice. Keona, you seem more like the outsider perspective.
A little bit, yeah.
Can you elaborate?
Well, as someone who loves basically rock music in general and Metallica in particular, like they are tied up for my favorite band with Radiohead, which is an unusual combination, I know. But it depends on my mood. It depends on if I'm into softer stuff or into harder stuff. And Metallica definitely means a lot to me because their lyrics, their instrumentation, the dynamics that they use in their songs, it's just like, it's amazing. For me, I didn't grow up listening to them because, I was in a stricter household growing up. So, as a young person, as way back when I was a teenager, I didn't listen to Metallica. I listened to, I think at the time I was going through like an alt rock phase, or maybe like even a little like, even a little pop music, hip hop phase. I don't know at the time, but anyway, so Metallica, really the first song that I got into with them was Nothing Else Matters. That was the first song that I really heard, and it was on a radio station back in Hawaii called 97.5 KPOI. And they're no longer around, I don't think, but they played it on the radio once. And this is like in the 90s, so this is after it released, way after. But it was still getting radio play back there. And they basically, it was one of those songs where it just hit me. I loved the lyrics. I loved just how it sounded. Metallica, for me, it's one of those bands where they're timeless and they'll never go out of fashion for me. And even though I wasn't like an original fan, I'm not an OG Metallica fan, but I will say that I am one of those people that came to it late and just and loves it and loves to see the progression in their sound and their attitude towards music. And it's very plain to see how much they've matured and how much they've changed, but still can rock as hard as they've ever rocked. And that's clear in this S&M2.
Oh yeah. So I've been a fan of Metallica for at least like I want to say at least 20-ish years. I actually got into them around the year that Saint Anger came out, which is kind of an interesting jumping on point.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I remember the video coming out.
Yep. But that album wasn't actually my introduction. Before that, the first song I heard was "Fuel," which was featured on the PlayStation 1 game Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. That was the intro song, and that was my first exposure.
I miss those Hot Wheels games, man. Those were good games. Anyway.
So that was when I first heard them, but it wasn't until like a few years later when my cousin introduced me to Master of Puppets, the song. And from there, it like my fandom just kind of blossomed. The first two albums that I owned were Injustice for All and Saint Anger. Then I moved on to Load, Reload, and the Black Album. And then I got Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning. And yeah, it's all history from there. One of the first live albums that I listened to ever was the original S&M.
S&M, yeah.
Do you guys remember the first time that you heard this?
The title, I remember my mom literally just going, I think it was like I think No Leaf Clover as a video was coming out. And I was like, ooh, what's that title? And then my mom's like, no, turn away. You're not seeing that. Had to get that joke in there.
Yeah, my first time was it was like the summer of 2005. It was a very unique experience listening to that album, because this was the first time that I heard like even just the concept of mixing heavy metal with a live orchestra. One of the few songs that really stood out to me was like the original songs they created, like No Leaf Clover and Human. Those two have remained like some of my favorite Metallica songs pretty much of all time.
No Leaf Clover is amazing.
Oh yeah. I love how even when they play the music, like the song live, like, you know, like during their normal touring cycles, they'll always have the orchestra sample as the intro.
Yeah.
I might as well give my own actual like first time hearing the record beyond, you know, badly timed joke. So it was probably I want to say like halfway through grade 9, because again, I still was just going through the entire catalog. I had heard about this album again, and then it was pretty much me just searching up whatever I could. And because Master of Puppets was my favorite, like Battery and Master of Puppets were my two go-to songs at the time. So once I heard more from that album, The Thing That Should Not Be really became like it became one of those songs that I was just like, the live version eclipses the studio version.
And I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I always, for some reason with live albums, I always go, okay, which one live sounds better than the studio version? A lot of stuff on this first record, I pretty much just go to the most of Wolf and Man sounds way better on this album than it does the studio version to me. Same goes for, again, Thing That Should Not Be sounds perfect. I'd say even Until It Sleeps, like that, even for a Load song, it just sounds more massive and more huge with the symphony backing it.
Yeah, definitely agree with you on that.
And of course, like, it's genius at the time because of how big nu metal was, like how they got a live album to stand out in 1999 with 2 new songs that got radio play.
That's impressive.
That never happens, especially nowadays. You never see live tracks getting not to my knowledge, getting radio play anymore.
Another
that's
thing
true.
that makes my experience with S&M a little more special is that some of those songs I heard for the first time on S&M, like before I dug into the rest of their discography, like songs like Of Wolf and Men, The Thing That Should Not Be, and the Outlaw Torn, which I think sounds much better live than in the studio.
Yeah, the thing with Load and Reload, and I know those are the two albums the fan base loves to trash on. I do love those records to death, but they are absurdly long. Like, even I don't remember which single it would have been even. I think it either had to have been Hero of the Day or King Nothing or something, but they literally had a version called Unencumbered by Recording Restrictions or something along those lines. And it's literally just an extra 30 seconds that they couldn't put on the CD because the album ended up being so long.
Oh yeah. I was reading on Wikipedia somewhere that that they pretty much stretched Load to like the physical CD limit. So it's like a full 78 and 51 second album.
I got it right in front of me. 78 minutes, 58 seconds.
Yeah, that's like for that kind of record, I don't think it needed to be that long.
Yeah, one of the things that I really think makes this original S&M record benefit from it is that it's got a lot of dirt under its nails still, despite having that Bob Rock style production.
Yeah.
And plus, having your healthy dose of thrash riffs in there, that definitely helps big time.
Oh yeah.
I just like the way that it flows, like the original S&M record, the way that each song just seems to flow into the next. It's amazing to me. Like that first disc, the latter half of it, just it goes from Fuel into The Memory Remains into No Leaf Clover into Hero of the Day, Devil's Dance, Bleeding Me. It's just like it just goes straight through, no stop. Just feels like you can feel the energy.
Again, just given that Battery's my favorite Metallica song, just the fact that you have a symphony backing it, it's kind of like you have this amazing chocolate cake and then you decide to put whipped cream on it. It's just like you added that extra thing to make it even better. Like the one time I got to hear Battery live, that was heaven.
I'll just get this out of the way. My one disappointment with S&M2 is that they didn't end with Battery. But I do like how they ended with a little bit of a riff from Injustice for All.
That was actually a riff from The Frayed Ends of Sanity.
Yep.
See, I've got these riffs and lyrics memorized just purely by muscle memory at this point.
Well, yeah, because a lot of these songs, I'm sure you've played on repeat multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with pretty much like everything down to like every production story I know about these albums. So I say, how about we get into the actual record? Because fun fact, I heard it long before you guys.
Oh, yeah. Now, for the record, we at Renegade Pop Culture do not condone piracy of any sorts, but hypothetically, there was an opportunity to hear this album in advance.
In my case, it was Amazon delays.
So how many times have you listened to it since?
So just 2 times, because leading into what I said earlier, I got to see the actual show in theaters because they did like a limited screening back in, I want to say about September of last year, before, you know, the world destroyed itself. Then it was because I just started a new job recently. I didn't really have enough time to actually hear it Friday night, so I just checked it out earlier today again, just to give myself a bit of a refresher, since it had been a year.
Man, I'm so jealous of people who actually got to see it in theaters, because from what I've heard, like the production of this show was like 10 times better than the original, because it's on a bigger it was like in a bigger stage and felt more, what's the right word, epic.
Yeah.
Keona, you just watched the live recording.
I haven't seen it in theaters. I only watched just the recording, and just bought it on YouTube and Google Play. So I think for me, like, you can clearly see that it's a hugely epic recording. I don't know if, like, do you mean like the staging was different?
I'm not sure if this was performed at like a different venue than the original, but it felt more like a stadium, like a sold out stadium event than like the concert hall feel of the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I can
I'm
see
gonna
that.
jump in here and be fanboy correcty guy.
Please do.
Please, by all
So basically, the original was recorded at Berkeley Community Theater, which is literally just the theater in that university. I've got Wikipedia in front of me, so I might as well just use it while it's convenient. But that's where they filmed it, and that's why when you watch the live recording of the original, you see like a lot of like warped background images behind the symphony. And plus, also, fun fact, the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra was led by Michael Kamen, who scored our favorite Christmas action movie ever. Yes, the guy who scored Die Hard did the symphony work for a Metallica record.
Doesn't get any more metal than that.
That was the original, though, right? Not S&M2, right?
Yeah, and sad, that's why Michael Kamen's not involved. He passed on in 2003.
Yeah.
This was done, I forget at which, it was at the newest Coliseum they built in San Francisco. And the reason, because they all have been doing this since, I want to say, about Saint Anger, they always have the stage in the middle of the arena.
This was at the Chase Center.
Yes, thank you. That's Chase Center. So they pretty much took what they've been doing since Saint Anger and Death Magnetic. They had this, that's why they have the stage and the symphony right in the center, just so that way they can pack more people in, like, all around, rather than just stage right in the usual spot where you usually go. First one to the barricade wins.
Yeah, I think that's like the stage setup that I like the most from all the live footage that I've seen from the band. This is the one that really kind of defines their, like, the latter half of their career.
Yeah, I agree with that. What did you guys think of the track list and the way that they sort of shuffled it from the first one?
I love how a lot of their more recent catalog is represented.
Yeah, same here.
My favorite track is probably it has to be All Within My Hands, because
I was gonna say
I'm just obsessed with this new arrangement of this song. First of all, the fact that they are playing it all acoustically, gives it a much different texture and pretty much a different sonic energy to it. And then adding the orchestra on top of it just completes the package.
Yeah, definitely agree. I agree with you too. I think that was the one that really stood out to me. There's a lot of good on this album. But All Within My Hands, Wherever I May Roam, and of course Nothing Else Matters. That'll always be one of my favorite songs, if not my favorite Metallica song. The Memory Remains, The Day That Never Comes. It was cool to hear that live with the symphony. That was pretty awesome. That's my favorite song off Death Magnetic. I know that's creative of me, but I mean that's unique. But no, I love that song. And For Whom the Bell Tolls, it's always cool. I did really love the symphony aspect too, because growing up in my house, there was a lot of classical music being played, so that was cool to see. And it was interesting to hear them play along with the symphony there for the Iron Foundry. That was neat. I love how creative they've gotten with like their arrangements and using acoustic, guitars and like just playing around with what it means to have a live symphonic Metallica album. I think they've matured as a band. It's very interesting to see.
Yeah, they really have. Nick, what are some of your favorite tracks off the record?
So I'm just gonna kind of comment on the set list just because I've also got iTunes open right now for both albums. For me, I get they don't really want to just do a flat out repeat of the original. I know they want to throw new stuff in there, which is cool. For me, I'm going to agree. Day That Never Comes, it sounded incredible with the symphony. Moth into Flame, just because that's one of my favorite Hardwired songs.
Yes, same.
Sounds absolutely brilliant, especially once it just gets into that riffy part in the middle and then cuts right into the solo. Sounds killer.
Yeah.
Halo on Fire, another killer. For me, it doesn't really pick up until All Within My Hands again. Which I'm going to comment about that acoustic version because that's been floating around since like a little bit before Death Magnetic. That they've been doing live on and off since about 2007, which I've really got to say, I really hope this gives people a different appreciation or I'm going to have to make that joke. Saint Anger will finally get some respect just because because when you go back and listen to that studio version of All Within My Hands, which if you're a Metallica fan, you obviously know the infamous production of Saint Anger, where the snare drum sounds like Oscar the Grouch's home. But here's the thing. If you really retool that song to how it sounds on this record, it gives you a different appreciation for it, which I think is killer. Gives it more of kind of like a Thin Lizzy, Alice in Chains kind of feel to it, which I like.
It does, yeah.
My thing, and I literally put this in the... By the way, I'm just going to ask this mid-sentence. Swearing is a yay or a nay?
It's a yay.
Okay, cool, because I literally took notes, and one part of it says 14 minutes of dicking around with the symphony.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Which this isn't a slam against classical music or anything. Like, obviously, I'm a fan of it. It's a huge influence on heavy metal. And mainly my thing was... One of my notes that I left was when it's just Metallica and the symphony, coming together to do something killer like The Day That Never Comes, or throwing in Moth into Flame or Confusion, or going back to No Leaf Clover. That's awesome. For me, at least a good 15 minutes of that could have been more. You could have fit at least a good 2 or 3 Metallica songs in there. And
I'll agree with you there. Yeah.
Again, throw in Battery, throw in Sad But True. I mean, throw in something a bit more riffy, because I felt like that section, I remember going, God, can we get past the conductor talking and get back into more music, please? Because, this just really isn't going anywhere for me, especially the Iron Foundry section, which it's a neat idea. It's just... it kind of had the Lulu problem of just repeating the same riff over and over again for me.
That's fair. And pacing wise, I agree. Like,
it slowed it down.
I I wasn't a big fan of opening disc 2 with the intro to Scythian Suite. It really brings things to a halt. But it's like instrumental wise, I like the idea of one of the songs on the set list being like a true collaboration between Metallica and the symphony.
Yeah. That's why I like the Iron Foundry so much, is because like they had Metallica out there on the stage playing with them, and I thought that was interesting. It was a chance for them to give the symphony a chance to take the lead there. But I can totally see what you're saying, Nick, and I agree with you that yeah, it dragged it down, and maybe they could have cut the Scythian Suite, because it,
or just had it as like an intro or something.
Yeah.
Straight to the Unforgiven 3, which for me, that song really like it already sounded like it had the potential on Death Magnetic with to have a symphony in the background, but it could have just had that symphonic intro and then Unforgiven 3, and then the whole band comes back in.
I think they were just trying to give the symphony a chance to shine on their album, which
is cool. I'm not saying it, like I said, I'm not saying anything against classical music. I don't want to give off that impression, but for me, just in terms of pacing, you could have fit 2 or 3 more songs in there, and I would have walked away going, you know what? Killer. I dig it.
Yeah. I defer to you in this case, because like I said, I'm more of the, I guess, the casual. I'm a filthy casual, but like, but for me, as someone who does also love classical music as well as Metallica, I thought that was interesting. So, and
something interesting about the Unforgiven 3 arrangement is that it reminded me a little bit of how they did Nothing Else Matters and Hero of the Day from the original S&M.
Yeah.
Also, I did kind of miss Hero of the Day on this set list, because I also just love the way that was arranged in the original.
I missed Bleeding Me.
Just
because I think Bleeding Me,
I forgot about that until
one thing that people really forget about Load and Reload is that Hetfield's lyrics are still there. They're still like how am I going to want to put this? Because if you want to have Master of Puppets be kind of like the war album and then Justice be the politics album, Black Album, Load and Reload are the personal Hetfield albums in terms of lyrics. With Bleeding Me, it's probably because I remember looking up the lyrics to that and trying to like go behind the meaning. A lot of people think that was Hetfield wanting to get sober like years before his whole first rehab stint, I should say. That and really the guitar solo, I don't know how people can say Load and Reload are bad albums, because they're not incompetently played.
No, not at all.
It's just, for me, it's just boohoo. It's not Kill 'Em All version 150, which if you want generic thrash bands, just go check your, no offense to local bands, just go check your local band listing. Once this virus is over.
Yeah. Please be over soon.
Please,
dude, let's talk about that. Let's talk about like just seeing a concert in a hall with people. The energy that came from that. Let's talk about that, because like I feel like that's something that I don't even remember anymore.
It feels foreign to see footage of that, having not like been in a crowd in quite some time. In some ways my brain just can't process that was something that we used to do before the world fell apart.
You guys saying all of this is literally giving me withdrawal shakes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm literally just going like, God, let me run to a barricade again. Let me throw my hair in people's faces again. Like, and plus, I also had tickets to go see Metallica in
Man.
not San Francisco, Aftershock. I was supposed to go to Aftershock, which was supposed to have that My Chemical Romance reunion too in the middle of all of that. So I was supposed to go to that in October, but that got pushed to next year too. So that end, I do love the fact that they recently just did this whole Metallica Monday series where they just picked old live shows and just streamed them on their YouTube page.
Oh man.
I will say another thing about the record that I do miss is that not a ton of new material.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it. Hardwired just came out. Well, at the time of the recording of that show, it would have been a 3-year-old album. But
yeah,
again, for me, what gave that first S&M record so much incentive behind it was just you got new music on top of hearing all of these songs with a symphony backing it. I just kind of wish they would have done something like that again, but then again, we don't really want them rushing things in the studio just to get it out for a live record.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I also agree. It would have been nice to hear like maybe a new song, not like a clone of No Leaf Clover, but like something with that same spirit. Something new for this new crowd.
Yeah, as long as we're not getting Unforgiven Part 4, because I have the feeling it's perfect as a trilogy. Leave it be. It finished. It ended.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the Anesthesia Pulling Teeth version that they had?
I thought it was
Still
a really
the
nice
greatest space solo.
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
a really nice tribute to Cliff.
Yeah.
Sorry for cutting you off by there, by the way. Just whenever I hear somebody go, what do you think of Anesthesia Pulling Teeth? Greatest bass solo of all time. Get used to it.
Oh, absolutely. There's no debate. That is the right answer.
Yes.
That's the only answer.
Only answer, man. Yeah, agreed.
But no, that they've been doing that because I actually followed them on tour in 2017 for like a couple of dates. So every show usually it's Rob who usually they start with Kirk and Rob doing like a tribute song to whatever part of the world they're in. So whenever they're in Canada, they usually pick something Canadian. If they're in Europe or something, in Germany they did a Rammstein song. I do remember that. But then it goes straight into Rob doing an Anesthesia rendition, just usually of just the intro, and then they cut into whatever song they're going to play next that night. So it's cool that they bring in like a lot of the Hardwired set list into it. I actually, come to think of it, this just popped into my brain. I don't know why Atlas Rise wouldn't have been added to this.
Yeah, now you think about it, that would almost be perfect for
a
an orchestra setting.
I mean, Deep Purple is Lars's favorite band, and Deep Purple was probably the first band to actually do the whole metal and a symphony thing to begin with. So I mean, hey, would have been cool having that twin guitar melody part backed by a symphony.
Oh wow, I'm just like thinking about it. Yeah, I can totally hear it. That would be cool.
I want that and battery added.
Yeah.
Just we gotta wait another 10 or 20 minutes for the third one.
That's an M3.
Just don't Rolling Stones it, guys. Just that actually, come to think of it, since I brought up the Stones, let's knock on wood, because if Keith or Mick go, then it's the end of the world. Then it's time to start.
Oh man.
Oh no, are they the glue holding us together?
Probably it's either Mick, Keith, Ozzy. Who else is going to live forever? Because I can't think of anybody else.
Rob Halford.
He's already the metal god, so he's. Then again, we lost Dio already. Yeah, you know what? For argument's sake, let's get more metal in there. Get Halford in there.
We need to protect these people at all costs.
If they go, I riot.
I'll join you.
I will start a one-person riot. Whoever wants to join me, you can start it in your area. You can dump paint on yourself and then just light up a flare and then just say, okay, take it from here.
Let us know in the comments below.
This just
If you would
escalated.
like to join.
This just escalated from talking about a live Metallica album to rioting if
Oh Lord,
Rolling Stones members passes.
This is what coronavirus has done to us.
yeah.
Yes, it has. Give us our live shows back.
Oh my God, seriously though.
But in terms of I'm just gonna go based off of what my notes are ultimately.
Sure.
Just because I always try to look for production stuff. They didn't Death Magnetic it. There was no loudness war stuff I could detect. So everything sounds like it's actually had money thrown at it. They usually have their sound guy still making sure that everything like sounds perfect. So, I feel it's representative of them as a live band. It just, for me, I just wish they'd add a little bit more crunch to their guitar tone again. Just pulling up the songs again, All Within My Hands. I already talked about how that song's finally getting appreciated.
Yeah.
Let's throw in one, because whenever I hear the symphony version, I always go, okay, that sounds like, whenever I hear that intro of the string section swelling and then cutting into the riff that we all know and love to death. Yes. Throw in Confusion, Moth into Flame, Outlaw Torn, No Leaf Clover. I'd really say just the first disc of this really does eclipse the second disc personally.
I agree with that.
I agree with you.
Like the first disc is like the tightest of the two.
It ended up being like Hardwired, kind of.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, it ended up being like Hardwired, except I do like a lot of the stuff on disc 2 of Hardwired, though.
Same. Spit Out the Bone is my favorite new Metallica song.
Spit Out the Bone is the best gym song ever. Just saying. Literally, if you're wanting to do 40 push-ups in like a minute, that is the song. Actually, come to think of it, throw that one in there too. Add an extra 7. You know what? Just give me a full 3-hour Metallica symphony show.
Seriously.
Just pick all the thrash songs.
I'd be down for that.
Disc 3.
There was a disc 3 for Hardwired too.
Yep.
Except that was pretty much just live stuff and B-sides from like 2008. I don't know. I don't really have pretty much any other thoughts. I mean, do you guys really have any? Because my notes were just kind of limited. I feel like I pretty much touched on everything that I wanted to say.
Well, I do want to give it up to the guy who played the electric bass on Anesthesia. Thought that was really good. I thought he did a really good job. Good performance there. Great performance, even, I would say, for me. But then I like that sort of thing. So
I want to give credit to the music director, Michael Tilson Thomas.
Yeah.
For a lot of his arrangements on the newer material. So The Day That Never Comes, All Within My Hands, which we've talked about already, Confusion, Moth into Flame, and Halo on Fire. Probably the best way to close out the first act. Yeah, I think a lot of the arrangements for the newer songs were really well done, and of course having some of the classics like having the Exthea Gold leading into the
Yeah.
Call of Cthulhu is always fun.
Whenever they do one of these symphony shows, they just have to do Call of Cthulhu.
They have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a must.
Like that's pretty much just a staple of it. I mean, it won a I'm pretty sure it won a Grammy for that. Now that I think about it, I'm pulling that up to fact check myself.
Did it?
Yes, this is how serious I take my fandom. I make sure I actually know which awards they've won for which. Yeah, best instrumental performance 01.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yes.
Totally agree with that. Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty much just one of those staple songs. If you're going to have Metallica do a symphony show, that's your opening track. And actually, now that I think about, I literally was just looking through like 99 set lists. So in 1999, they would have always closed with Battery. So that's why that's at the end. So damn it, guys, why didn't you put that? I'm still going to harp on it. I want Battery in the set list every show.
Yeah, some songs just need to be like permanent fixtures in their set list. And Battery is definitely one of them.
So I guess I just thought of this like a couple seconds ago. So where does Metallica go from here? Because really, they've pretty much just accomplished everything when you get down to it. I mean, like, even as a fanboy, I have no idea, because like already Hardwired is the only metal album that I know of that has gone number one in the past 4 years. Actually, no, I take it back. It's one of two albums that went number one. We Are Not Your Kind by Slipknot. But aside from Hardwired and then 3 years later doing a symphony show again, what's the next mountain to climb then, I guess? Because
I have a theory. I think their next album is going to be an all acoustic record.
Would that be accepted by the fan base?
The fan base has accepted worse, or they've put up with worse.
I don't think that would well, you never know, though. I mean, they did just do an acoustic version of Blackened. I have no idea, because I have no idea if that would get past Hetfield, though. I mean, Lars is kind of loose with everything, but my thing is mostly just I don't know if that's going to get past Hetfield, though.
The filthy casual would buy it. I'm just saying.
Then again, look at what happened to Lulu, though.
Yeah.
Even my grandpa, who was listening to Lou Reed back in the day, was like, he just was not having it.
I feel like everyone is basically just disowned Lulu. Like, it's not bad enough to like hate listen, but it's also not good enough that anyone needs to know it exists.
I will just treat it like it's an unreleased album that was just a bad idea. And then, like we were mentioning, I'm pretty sure before we started recording, just have Jamie Josta from Hatebreed come in and do what he was going to do with that album. Just get an all-star metal vocalist list just to fix the album.
I would pay to hear that.
Also,
I'd listen to it.
And this is Jamie Josta's words too. No diss to Lou Reed. I'm just brainstorming recording ideas while we aren't touring. And plus, he did say that he was going to like keep some of the lyrics so that way his family gets some like the proceeds and stuff, so that way he still gets like royalties.
Oh, well, that's nice of him.
But yeah, he wants Rob from Machine Head, Kirk Weinstein from Down and Crowbar, Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. He did say Corey Taylor somewhere in there. He did say Michael from Volbeat. And I'm just pulling up another one. He wants King Diamond, which I'm pretty sure Lars would be down with that.
So basically he's gathering the Avengers of metal vocalists.
He just needs Rob Halford. He needs Joey from Anthrax because you've got to have one of the big four in there. And then, I don't know, just for extremer sakes, throw in Randy from Lamb of God.
All right. Now the package is complete.
Come to think of it, just have that be a festival and then everybody comes together to play that live.
I could see that that being a success.
You know what? Just because I talk about Heavy Montreal so much to, at least to you, Mike, just have that be the next lineup. Just have it be Metallica, Hatebreed, Slipknot, Machine Head, pretty much just every band I just mentioned, and then just middle of the show, it's like, okay, we're playing Lulu, but it's different, and we're not just repeating the same riff for, I don't know, 20 minutes.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like something that I need to see at some point in my life.
That'd probably get past the fan base, but then again, they'd still whine about it.
Well, yeah, they're gonna whine about anything.
It's too long. You like And Justice for All, but it's too long. It's not thrash enough. They gave you Spit Out the Bone. It's not thrash. My Apocalypse exists. Like, pretty much, I'm going to have to go into the fanboy territory of me, though. Like, pretty much every complaint about Metallica, I can really debunk in just under, like, a 5 minute, like 5 minutes of research just to make sure my point actually has something to back it up with. And then, you know, just I know so much about the band altogether that I just go, look, this just is not right, period.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I will be one of those people who defends the Napster shit.
I'll be honest, years removed from that controversy, I can honestly see Lars's perspective. He presented his argument like kind of an asshole, but the argument itself was valid.
Well, you've also got to think about it on their end, because like I Disappear was supposed to, it leaked like how long before it was supposed to release? They were still working on it in early 2000, and then it just randomly appeared on Napster. That's who they traced it back to, and then they were like, okay, cool, we're going to go after them. I mean, yeah, I will agree, printing off a Word document list of pretty much every fan that downloaded it, yeah, kind of a scuzzy thing, but I mean, you've heard me rant about pretty much every Warped Tour core band on the planet. I've seen worse later over time. This is not one of those, and plus, Dr. Dre got involved with this, so I don't see why he didn't take a hit in this either.
Yeah, it seemed like all the fire went towards Metallica, who have already been, under heat, like for other reasons before this.
I mean, Jason Newsted pretty much can just live off of Black Album royalties the rest of his life and not even put out a record in like 7 years. So, yeah. Not to say that they aren't doing okay, but for me, it's just they were looking out for smaller bands, which you can thank torrenting and downloading for pretty much making it so that bands pretty much have to live off McDonald's scraps for the rest of their lives while sleeping in, I don't know, the worst possible van with like a hole hanging out of it. Just imagine the worst touring conditions of your life. That's small bands.
Well, that's why go support S&M2, guys.
Yeah.
Go buy it, because I did. I bought the CD and Blu-ray combo.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to buy this as well, because I want to support.
Yeah.
I want to support the arts because art costs money.
Yep.
And money is how they continue to be artists for as long as they can.
Yeah, exactly. Support your artists, support musicians, support bands. Just get out there and do what you can.
For me, I just want to see metal just start dominating the Billboard Top 200. I mean, when people are more excited about, generic rap sex songs being plastered everywhere, I'd rather go listen to something way heavier with some riffs. And then somebody's going to go ahead and call me a boomer just because I don't like auto-tune.
Well, they can call me a boomer too, so because I don't like auto-tune either. I mean, like, seriously, like the dynamics that you hear in this, like the riffs, like you say, I mean, that's just something that you don't get anymore, except for like through the metal bands that are still going on, through some of the rock bands that are still going on and recording stuff and releasing albums. But everything in studio just sounds really produced now. It's just like, I don't know. Like I prefer this.
Well, for me, it's mostly just been 2020 in general has been a stellar year for metal. I mean, we've got albums from Lamb of God, Code Orange, Trivium, Black Crown Initiate, Testament, Haken, Caveller Talk, Ingested. Like, even though I just dropped a pretty massive insult towards hip hop, I mean, Run the Jewels put out an album that's excellent. So, I mean,
they're good.
Good music still exists out there. I'd rather support good music and, buy merch, buy CDs, buy the vinyl.
Yeah.
And plus, knock Metallica all you want, but they take plenty of smaller bands like Gojira that probably would not get in stadiums. So, don't complain too much. Otherwise, too bad you won't see proggy death metal getting into your local amphitheater.
Yeah, I was talking about this earlier with my brother before we recorded, and Metallica is one of the most important bands in metal back in their heyday and today, because they are the entry point for so many fans. Old fans like myself and Nick, or new fans that are like just discovering them now. It's important. It's important for everyone to have that one entry point into the genre.
Yeah, it's true for me too. Like I wouldn't have listened to metal if it weren't for Metallica. Let me tell you that. If it wasn't for hearing Nothing Else Matters play on K-Poi that one day, I don't know when exactly, but years ago and decades ago, then I wouldn't have listened to them ever. I wouldn't have gotten into metal. And like as far as I am, like my love of rock music probably wouldn't exist. So I'd be stuck in a land of autotune.
Yeah, don't do that.
Sorry, everybody.
If you want to hear that, just go to your local retailer and then,
I do like autotune the news, however. I'll say that.
That's different.
That's different. That's parody. But,
yeah.
That's good stuff.
Me, I'm always like, let's keep metal on the charts. Like, let's see it start charting, because seeing bands like Black Dahlia Murder, pandemic aside, get a #1 selling album based off of physical sales in your guys', because I'm Canadian, seeing it go #1 in America, that's a good thing. I want to see more of that. I want to see more smaller, extremer bands start to get way more popular. I mean, like, again, this year's just been stellar for new extremer releases that we probably should get Keona hooked on, because oh my god, I've at least got a top 50 going.
Totally. Send me the top 50. I will listen.
Yes.
We
will make this happen.
I don't think it would be a good idea to make him listen to Benighted or Aborted just yet.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
Maybe Body Count.
Maybe, yeah. You guys, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Maybe body count. Maybe not excrete or psilosis or ingested. Or maybe just throw him into the slam death metal pit and then just see what happens.
See what happens to me. I'm gonna come back just like that guy who watched all the Nicolas Cage movies on Community, just like Abed. I'll pull an Abed on you.
Yeah, we'll get him to get a Unique Leader Records tattoo. Unique Leader Records, just have him wearing the Deeds of Flesh shirt then.
Dude,
you got homework now.
Oh man.
All right.
Send me the list.
Any final thoughts before we close this out?
I'll start since I'm the filthy casual. I will say that I loved I loved S&M, and I love S&M2. So there you go. Say that out loud everywhere you go. Go to a restaurant, just like yell it to the waiter. Just be like, I love S&M, and he'll be like, get out. But no, I mean Metallica's S&M, and Metallica's S&M2, because it's symphony and Metallica. Man, that San Francisco Symphony is awesome. I've only once ever seen the symphony back home and the symphony here, and I can say that, not to talk too much about classical music here because we're doing metal, but the symphonies are amazing. You guys should support them as well, and support the bands you love, support metal, support symphony, and just do that, because we need good music in the world. We need the arts.
Amen. Nick, any final thoughts?
Okay, I'm going to give my fanboy answer. So 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. I've already got the Amazon pre-order. I've already got the box set pre-ordered. I've got the vinyl pre-ordered, the CD, the Blu-ray. I know all of that's included, but hey, different variations. So 5 out of 5, go buy it. The rational answer now. It's really good. I loved seeing it in theaters. I'm excited to finally get it in the mail, hopefully sometime this century before they release a new album. But yeah, if you like live records, I can't really think of any better one to go out and buy right now, aside from maybe the Avatar live album that came out last year. But no, if you want more Metallica in your life, well, you should, because they're only one of the biggest bands on the planet. Go buy it.
Yeah. I would probably give this a 4.5 out of 5. There are some things I'd tweak, but on the whole, I really enjoyed listening to this. The production sounds incredible. I love any time that Metallica gets together with the San Francisco Symphony. And yeah, go support this any way you can. You can rent or buy the video on YouTube, or buy all of the physical media, the vinyl, the CD, the DVD, all of the above. If you're a Metallica fan, you should have already done this ages ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that'll bring this podcast to a close.
Can I say a couple more things?
Oh yes, go ahead.
Tangentially related to this, I would say is something like Video Games Live. Have you guys heard of that? Where
Yes,
it's a symphony and they play like video game themes and stuff like that. Tommy Tallarico's behind it. He was a composer on like Earthworm Jim and a lot of other games, and he plays guitar on it, so you got a little rock feel to it. I went to see the show in Hawaii. It was really awesome. So if you like live music, live recordings, not as much, it's not a metal thing, but you got the guy riffing on the guitar. He did the Command and Conquer song was pretty metal.
Ooh.
That was Hell March. That was awesome. So yeah, go support that. And I would say that the one thing that really hit me too was in the beginning, they show that shot of a couple of fans, and they have the banner, and it says, and it was a tribute to Michael Kamen, which I thought was awesome. That was really cool to see. So,
okay,
I'm done.
That's nice. All right, so Nick, thank you for joining us on this this Renegade Pop Culture podcast special. Where can everyone find you online?
Okay, because I was going to ask if I can do some shameless plugging. So you can follow my Instagram's about to break 700 followers, by the way. So getting a couple of those in would be greatly appreciated. It's Super Saiyan Death Metal God, which
I
yeah,
love that. I love that handle.
Love that. Love
that's
it.
the most weeby fanboy name I could come up with. But hey, it's intimidating for the gym, I guess. But yeah, that's my main, and plus you can also find that on Twitter as well. It's pretty much just more Instagram stuff, just that gets cut off because damn 140 character limit.
That character limit is the worst. Keona, where can everyone find you?
Oh, well, you can find me at Neoplasmic24 on Instagram, also at Keona Tang on Twitter. That's KeonaTang. And at Ren Pop Culture on Twitter and Facebook, and facebook.com/group/RPC42. That's our group. And of course, renegadepopculture.com, anchor.fm/renegade pop culture. What else do we have? We have the show on Spotify. Just search for us there. Of course, if you guys like what we've talked about, go ahead and leave a comment in the comments. You can do that on Twitter. You can do it wherever. Like our Twitter is growing, so that's nice to see. Hopefully we'll get more support. And yeah, that's about it. And also I want to give a shout out to my friend Kirsten and to our co-hosts Josh and Crystal, and just wish them well right now with everything that's going on. And I also want to say that we're dedicating all of our work for the next couple of weeks, especially to the memory of Chadwick Boseman, who passed away suddenly and due to cancer yesterday, actually, at the time of this recording. So want to give our thoughts and prayers and hearts to his family and friends, and to those who knew him, and to those who respected him and loved his work. So just want to throw that in there because this is our first podcast since we've heard that news. So we'll mention it again on future shows. All right, Mike, take us out.
All right, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Captain K42. Check out all my quick thoughts reviews on letterboxd.com/Coach K42. And you can just find me on all the various Facebook groups just at my name. Tune in for the next podcast where Cameron and I, on the next episode of Tuned Up, break down all the news and animation, plus reviews for Infinity Train, The Owl House, Great Pretender, Glitch Techs, and Hoops. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. And that'll conclude this Renegade Pop Culture music special.
Oh, and also X-Men show this week, because a lot of us have gone to see New Mutants. So we're going to talk about the entire X-Men film franchise, hopefully a little bit of the comic stuff too.
Yes, look forward to both of those. And yeah, we will catch you guys later. Peace out.
Peace.